Question number 7, Phil Twyford.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is for the Minister for Building and Construction. Does he stand by his statement that this is a golden era for the building industry, and if so, why?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Yes, and I thank the member for enabling me again to highlight that the industry is experiencing its longest and strongest boom ever. Investment is at an all-time high of $20 billion per year in the year to April, and the latest household labour force survey showed in March 233,000 people working in construction. That is the highest number ever.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
Does he accept the estimated shortfall of 30,000 homes in Auckland, included in his own Auckland Housing Accord, a document he signed?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
The Auckland Housing Accord was signed a bit over 4 years ago. It provided for the special housing areas. It's seen since the level of home construction in Auckland go from 4,000 homes to 10,000 homes being built per year in that city. That accord sets out a goal of getting to 13,000 homes. I'll be continuing to push for new home construction until that target's met.
Point of order, Mr.
Point of order,
Speaker.
Phil Twyford.
I listened very carefully to the Minister's answer. I asked about whether he accepted a figure that was included.
On this occasion, I'll invite the member to repeat his supplementary question.
Thank you. Does he accept the estimated shortfall of 30,000 homes in Auckland, included in his own Auckland Housing Accord, a document he signed?
The
Mr
Honourable
Speaker.
Dr Nick Smith.
In the time it was set, which is now nearly 4 years ago.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Does he accept the estimate of the Auckland Council Independent Hearings Panel made during the preparation of the unitary plan that Auckland has an estimated shortfall of 40,000 dwellings?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Any estimates on the housing shortfall are very dependent on the assumption of how many people per home. And a small change and a difference, I'm saying that if you vary the assumption by just 0.1 person per household, that can vary that estimate by 10 or 20,000. So it will always be an estimate. I'm simply focused on getting more houses built, and the record of the last 4 years shows very strong growth and the progress that we're making.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
Does he accept the estimate made by his own officials in a joint Treasury MB paper in April 2016 that the shortfall of dwellings is now more than 30,000 and on current trends won't be eliminated until after 2030?
Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
No, the member misrepresents that report. And I'd also point out that the best indication as to whether housing supply and demand is in balance is price. And I welcome the fact that over the last 8 months, actually house prices in Auckland have been static. Equally so in Christchurch, where supply is well in control in respect of demand, we've actually seen house prices and rents fall, showing the importance of growing supply.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
What does he think is stronger evidence of denial? Denying there's a housing crisis, denying Auckland Council's estimate of the shortfall of housing, denying his own officials' estimate of the shortfall, or denying that his officials even gave him that advice, as he did this morning at Select Committee?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
The worst denial I've seen is when the Housing Labour Force survey shows a record number of people working in construction, when the building consent data shows the strongest level of building construction in more than a decade, when the GDP figures show that there is a housing boom, and when the member opposite says that no houses are being built.
Point of order, Phil Twyford.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I seek the leave of the House to table a Treasury MB document that sets out the estimate of a 30,000 plus shortfall of houses in Auckland.
I just need to check, is that not freely available to members?
Well, it was received by my office under the Official Information Act.
Over a year ago. Order. On that basis, I'll put the leave and the House will decide. Leave is sought to table the Treasury Embry document. Is there any objection to it being tabled? There is objection. Order. Question number 8. Madam Davidson.
E te māngai o te whare tēnā koe. My question is to the Minister for Climate Change Issues.